I've got 3 quick and easy dessert recipes that are guaranteed to impress your friends this holiday season. Starting off with recipe number 1, Nutella stuffed gingerbread man. You're going to need some ready roll puff pastry and chocolate spread. I picked up this Nutella from Morrison's, but my all-time favorite is VFORVEEGAN spread because it's crunchy and just absolute perfection. Even out your roll and spread the chocolate spread on half of it. I found that melting the spread first allows for a much more even and easy spread, but I don't think it's necessary. If you're not a fan of chocolate spread, you can use any type of spread here. Biscoff pistachio jam. At this point you can leave as is or add whatever toppings you want to it. Marshmallows, nuts, coconut shavings, let your creativity run wild. Fold your other half over and use your cookie cutters to cut out your gingerbread men. Next, we're preparing an egg glaze substitute, which is ridiculously easy. Just 2 tablespoons of plant-based milk and 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, or you can substitute this with agave syrup. Mix this well and glaze your gingerbread men with it. Pop into the oven at 160 degrees for about 12 minutes, checking up on them as you go. Once out of the oven, sprinkle them with some powdered sugar, or icing sugar as we call this in the UK, and serve hot. Moving on to recipe number 2, the Festive Biscoff roll. Again, you'll need to lay out your pastry roll here, take your desired spread, this time I went for Biscoff, and spread it all over the pastry roll this time, including the corners. Roll the pastry very tightly from top to bottom so that it forms this long log shape. Using a pair of kitchen scissors, cut your roll from about halfway up all the way to the top. Separate each little section in alternate directions to create the effect of leaves. Again, glaze with your milk and maple liquid and pop into the oven for 20 minutes. Once out of the oven, sprinkle with some icing sugar and serve. And now for our final recipe, these absolutely viral frosted chocolate pine cones. How cute do these little fellas look? For this, you're going to need some Oreos, chocolate spread, or peanut butter depending on how sweet you like your desserts, shell-shaped chocolate cereals, and some powdered sugar for the so-called frosting. Using a food processor, or by hand, crush these Oreos into a powder. I used the chocolate brownie Oreos, but I think that this actually made the mixture a little bit darker than I wanted it to, so color-wise it may be best to just go with the ordinary cream. Mix the crushed Oreos with the chocolate spread and then separate this into the number of pieces of pine cones that you want. I went for 4 personally, but of course you can do more or less depending on how many people you're intending to serve. And then form this mixture into a cone shape, which will look very odd. Begin putting the shells into the cone in the layers, and don't forget the shell at the top. I found these chocolate shell-shaped cereals in Lidl, but if you don't have these, then you can just use almond shavings. They'll make your cones look a little bit more spiky, but they do the job. Now you'll want to push the cone with the shells into itself to make it more compact. This doesn't need baking or anything, but if you think that your mixture is too soft, just leave it in the fridge for a little bit to firm up. Once they've got the shape you want them to, sprinkle them with icing sugar and you get this beautiful snowy effect. If you enjoyed these quickfire desserts and want to see a part 2, make sure to like this video. And if you want to see more festive recipes, watch this review of the most iconic foods featured in our favourite Christmas films. I'll see you there.